Hello everyone, myself Amruta Patil, lecturer from Department of Information Technology, Arihant Education Foundation, Arihant Arts, Commerce and Science Junior College, Bavdhan, Pune. Today I am here to discuss about the basics of information technology. The contents which we will be studying here are Introduction to IT, that is Information Technology, what is the definition of IT, the basic what is data and information, various concepts used under IT, computer system, and the architecture of a computer. So, the introduction to IT, information technology has a great influence on all the aspects of life. Almost all the workplaces and the living environments are being computerized nowadays, and use of the information technology is being used again and again and hence enhanced. So basically, what is the definition of information technology? Information technology, that is IT, encompasses all the technologies that we use in order to create, collect, process, protect and store the information. So it refers to the hardware, the software. Software means the computer programs and the computer networks. Okay, so what is IT? It is encompassing all the technologies that we are using in order to collect the data, create the data, process the data, protect the data and also store the information. Okay, so what is ICT? Information and communication technology. Okay, what it is a concept which involves the transfer and use of all the kinds of information. So this is the basic of definition of information technology. ICT is the foundation of economy and a driving force of social changes in the 21st century. Okay, so distance is no longer an issue nowadays. Okay, so when it comes to accessing the information, now what can be accessing information from a long distance is, for example, work from home. Nowadays work from home is become very easier for people. Okay, so distance learning is we can sit at home and we can do some work, we can learn something. E-banking is internet banking and e-governance. Okay, so these are all possible from any place with an internet connection and a computing device. So what are the two things which are important here? For distance learning, for work from home, for e-banking, we need an internet connection basically and a computing device, whether it may be a laptop, whether it may be a mobile device or anything. So what is the basic data and information? It is being said that the terms data and information are interchangeable and mean the same thing. Okay, so many times we say what is data, what is information, they both are same. Okay, but they are not same actually, and there is a difference between the two words. So what is the difference? Basically we will be seeing data can be any character, text, word, number or raw facts. Okay, so what is data? If someone asks you what is data, data is a character, data can be a text, data can be word, number or raw facts. Raw facts means that is the data that is not processed. Okay, so information, what is information? It's the data formatted in a particular manner that allows it to be utilized by the human beings in some significant way. So after the processing of the data, we get the information that is formatted. Okay, that is formatted in such a way that human beings can use it in a significant way. So this was a basic difference between a data and information. So we will be seeing the example so that you can understand it properly. What is data? Data is this. Okay, Amber, comma 1234, XYZ, comma MG road. Okay, so this is data. Now information means what? Information is XYZ 1234 MG road, Amber, Calcutta. This is a mobile number. So this data, this is in a haphazard manner. When organized in a particular manner, you will get some significant information that is understandable by human beings. In the above example, the data appears to be a set of random words and numbers. The random words and numbers are present in the data. However, when that data is interpreted, organized and formatted, one can tell that is contact information of a person named as XYZ. So in this example of data, you don't understand what is this, but after it is processed in a particular manner, you will come to know this is a information or a contact information of a person naming XYZ. Okay. So next you can see various concepts used under the IT. Let us learn some of the important concepts used under IT. That is, the word first terminology is the computer. What is computer? The word computer is derived from a Latin word computare, which means to calculate, to count, to sum up, or to think together in a manner. Okay, so this is the basic definition. Computer word is derived from Latin word, that is computare. An electronic device which accepts the input from the user, processes it according to the instructions given to it, and gives the required result in the form of output is a computer. This is the basic definition of a computer. It's an electronic device which it accepts the input from the user, it accepts the instructions from the user, and it gives the required result to the user in the form of the output. So this is a basic function of a computer. What is a computer system? Okay, a computer can process the data, images, audio, video and graphics. Okay, so a computer performs 5 major computer operations or functions irrespective of their size and make. Okay, so these are what? These are the 5 major computer operations. What are the computer 5 major operations the computer does is it accepts the data or instructions by the way of input. From the input, it accepts the data. What is the way? Input devices are keyboard, mouse. Okay, so from those input devices it accepts the data or the instructions. After that it stores that data. After that it processes the data as required by the user. Okay, and then it gives the result in the form of output, and also it controls all the operations inside a computer. Now who is going to control these all operations? Okay, the CPU. Okay, central processing unit. You will be studying it later. Next, the computer system and peripherals. Okay, so this is the basic diagram of a computer system and its peripherals. Now this is a screen. So the peripherals are, here are the keyboard, the speakers, the mouse, the headphones, the printer. Okay, so these are the peripherals. This is a basic computer system. Next, architecture of a computer. What is the architecture? Architecture is a specification detailing how a set of software and hardware technology standards interact to form a computer system. Okay, how the hardware and the software, okay, they are interacting to form a computer system is called the computer architecture. Okay, in short, computer architecture refers to how a computer system is designed and how it works. Okay, every computer system has the following 3 basic components. What are the 3 basic components of a computer system? Are input unit, CPU central processing unit, and the output unit. So these are the 3 basic components. So the ब्लॉक डायग्राम ऑफ कंप्यूटर यू कैन सी हियर ब्लॉक डायग्राम उसमें क्या है इसमें देयर इज एन इनपुट डिवाइस देयर इज एन आउटपुट यूनिट एंड देयर इज अ स्टोरेज unit and the CPU which is consisting of the storage unit. Okay, so the dotted lines show you the control flow and the dark lines show the data flow. Okay, so in the storage unit there is primary storage and there is secondary storage, and this is constituted by the central processing unit. Next is input unit. One by one we will be studying the basic components. First is input unit. This unit helps the users to enter the data and commands into the computer system. As I told you, keyboard, mouse are the input devices which are useful to enter the data and commands. Data can be in the form of numbers, words, actions, commands, etc. Okay, so the main function of input devices is to direct the commands and data into the computer. Computer then uses its CPU to process the data and produce the output. Okay, for example, a keyboard is an input device that enters numbers and characters. Even a mouse can be an input device for entering the directions and commands. Through keyboard you can enter the numbers, you can enter the characters. Through mouse, what you can do, you can enter the commands over there. What commands, what direction you want to give to the computer, you can give from the use of the mouse. So this was the input unit. Next, the important part of computer system is CPU, central processing unit. After receiving data and commands from the users, a computer system has to process it according to the instructions provided. With the data, the user gives some instructions. Okay, what computer has to do with the data, that instructions are given by the user. Here it has to rely on a component called the central processing unit. The CPU further uses these three elements. What are the three elements used by the CPU after a user gives the data and commands? Okay, so the first is arithmetic and logic unit. What is this? ALU. This part of the CPU performs the arithmetic operations. What does the arithmetic operations include? They include basic mathematical calculations like addition, subtraction, division and multiplication. Okay, so further it can even perform logical functions like comparison of data. Comparing two types of data comes under logical functions. Okay, so next is the control unit. What does this unit do? This is the backbone of computers. Okay, it is responsible for coordinating the tasks between all the components of a computer system. So this is the main unit of the CPU. What this control unit does is it collects the data from the input units and sends it to the processing units depending on its nature. Okay, so this is the main unit which sends the input units to the processing units. Okay, so finally it further transmits the processed data to output units to facilitate the users. After the data is processed and information is created, that is transmitted to the output units by the control unit. Okay, so next is memory unit. It is a part of CPU. Once a user enters the data using input devices, the computer system stores this data in its memory unit. So memory is for used for storing the data. Okay, this data will now remain here until other components of the CPU process it. Okay, so memory unit uses a set of pre-programmed instructions to further transmit this data to the other parts of the CPU. Okay, so this is the memory unit. Now, types of memory. What are the types of memory? There are two types, primary and secondary memory basically. What is primary memory? It is the internal memory of the computer. Basic internal memory. It is also known as main memory. Primary memory, what it holds the data and the instructions on which computer is currently working. Okay, so types of primary memory. There are again two types in this primary memory, that is RAM and ROM. Okay, what is RAM? Random access memory. This is a part of the primary memory. Primary memory is the part of the memory unit. Okay, so it stands for random access memory. RAM is also known as read and write memory. Okay, it is generally referred to as main memory of the computer system. It is a temporary memory. Okay, so the information stored in this memory is lost as the power supply to the computer is switched off. As soon as you switch off the computer, the RAM, whatever memory, whatever data it is having, it will go off. It will be lost. That is why it is called as the volatile memory. Volatile means what? After the switching of the computer, the data is lost. That is called as volatile memory. Now the opposite is ROM, read-only memory. What is this? It is a permanent memory. Okay, the content is not lost when the power supply is switched off. Okay, content of a ROM is decided by the computer manufacturer and permanently stored at the time of manufacturing. Because it is a permanent memory, we don't lose any kind of data when the power is switched off, and hence the content of the memory ROM is decided by the computer manufacturer only, and it is stored at the time of the manufacturing of the computer. ROM cannot be overwritten by the computer, okay, because it is read only, you cannot write again, overwrite on that memory, so hence it is called as a non-volatile memory. So this was ROM. Next, the second type of memory is secondary memory. It is an external memory of the computer. It is used to store huge amount of different programs and informations. Okay. So what are the secondary storage devices? Examples are given here. Magnetic hard disk is there, magnetic tapes is there, pen drive is there, flash memory, optical disk in that CD and DVDs which we use, that is there, and SSD. So these are the types of secondary memory storage devices. Okay. So last is the output unit. It is a third and final component of a computer system. And what it does, after processing of the data, it is converted into a format which can be understood by the human. Okay. After conversion, the output unit displays this data to the users. So what is the main functions of this output unit is to display the data after conversion, after the processing. Examples of these output devices include the monitors, screens, printers and speakers. Okay, these are the output devices. Thus, output units basically reproduce the data formatted by the computer for users' benefit. Okay, so these are the functions of the display, that is the output unit. Okay, so this was all about the basics of information technology. Thanks for watching.